And file list can read PDFs. It reads PDFs. So file viewer is a different way of viewing the data, but the data is no longer in a field, it's in an entire document. It'll look at a bunch of documents contained, so you can read a PDF. That is labor intensive, by the way. That thing will run a long time because it's scanning entire libraries of documents. Yes.
So between the source data and operation, why do you need a type in between there?
So a type is like a placeholder. It doesn't do anything. It allows you to do a sanity check and recache your data. So let me explain the type node in a little more detail. So the type node, all it really does is it doesn't produce anything. It allows you to peek into the data to confirm that everything is as it should be. When I open up the type node, I want to make sure that every field that should be continuous is continuous. I want to make sure that every field that I think is a flag should be a flag. I want to assess the values. Do they make sense? Are the mins and maxes okay? I want to look at the inputs and the target states. I want to make sure that if I'm building a predictive model, I've got one target and multiple inputs. Okay? If we've got 2 or 3 targets, I have a problem. Or if I have things set to input that should be an input, I need to flick them off. And if I have things not put into my model, I need to turn them on. Okay? This helps you take stock of what's going on. Helps you take inventory. I want everybody to double click on one of the type nodes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one. Maximize it. I want everybody to understand and make sure they know what I'm talking about. The type node is a way to assess your metadata. You know the name of the field. You know the measurement type. You know the value. You know if there's any missing data or not. We'll talk about the check field in a second. That's rarely used. And you know the role that the data plays. It's either an input, not an input, or a target, or sometimes it's both. You can set the role to both. You would set it to both for market basket analysis because it's bidirectional, right? Someone could either buy the milk first or the milk could be the second purchase. So in that case, the setting is both for milk, for market basket. Let's close this out. So now we're coming up on a break in about 5 minutes. What we're going to do now is you can see there's 2 decision tree models we built, one with text data in it, the other without text data in it. And I want to compare the ROI of both methods, the one that uses text versus the one that doesn't use text. So I'm going to pull in the ROI evaluation node. I'm going to go over here to the Graphs tab, see where it says evaluation. I'm going to double click on that.
Evaluation.
I'm going to open this up. I maximize and hit run. And I'm going to get a screen that gives me a chart that tells me the economic benefits of running a model. I'll show you how to interpret that chart. Give it a second to run. We've got a lot of data we're pouring in here now. Plus these PCs appear to be from the 70s. Is anybody from Exit certified? Smack you later. So what I have here is I have a gains chart. If I want to assess people likely to a trike, let's say I had to find everybody who's about to leave the business relationship, I would literally need to call all of them and ask them if they were thinking of leaving. So that's the red line. I'd have to contact 100% of my customers to find 100% of my churners. Economically, that is not going to fly. Before I go any further, let me just make sure you all have the gains chart up. Double-click there. The wrong thing. Shame. Oh, just stay after clap erasers and then do the garbage. You take that, hold it out. Go over here. Now double click on that. See how it filled in the name? So double click on that. Okay, run. Double click on that.
You said the runners, but yours isn't connected. One.
You didn't connect it? Or
Mine's
the one that
connected to the churn with text. Oh, yours is similar.
Oh. he had on the board, I think it's this nugget, right? You're doing that, the other one.
Oh,
Sometimes when you have too many.
You can have both.
so I can delete it, right?
Well, if, yeah, you can do it with the other, I think. I think.
There you go. If somebody does not have an ROI chart that looks like mine, up, raise your hand. Just give that a second. You double click on
But I
it.
only have one window open.
Click run.
I have one window.
Okay, let me jump in. Great.
So I have one window. But I only have one window. Okay. That's right. I didn't have no clock. Mine was
Sexual stuff.
well, the main point is there's a lot of red.
I'm gonna do is bring in
This is
graph
if you're
stuff,
randomly
evaluation
choosing
chart,
who's going to lead.
and I hope it appears.
And then, so if you use the model, then this is how you go on to the capture. So if you address the top 20%.
By the way, you're going to see a red line here. It's like he's turning this off. I'm helping him. We're going to have to arm wrestle later. I know who you are. I can see the guilty looks. I'm very good at reading people. Having done this job.
Really?
That's right. Hang your head. Now I'll have to take this jacket off. So this churn indicator or this ROI chart says that you have the do nothing option, and there's two models we built, and they perform virtually the same to understand how well they